Hello, wonderful viewers. It is another interesting episode of Views and Opinion on MCCP TV, where your voice matters. My name is Olama Vivian Chinana. On today's episode of Views and Opinion, we'll be looking at the total removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government of Nigeria and the 5,000 Naira transport allowance proposed to Nigerians. Over the years, past government in Nigeria has advocated for the outright removal of fuel subsidy in order to cut down on government spending and eliminate corruption. However, the current administration plans outright removal of fuel subsidy from June 2022 and would pay 5,000 Naira monthly transport allowance to poor Nigerians to cushion the effect. So on this episode, we want to explore the pros and cons of this decision and its practicability. Please don't go away.
The decision or the idea of removing fuel subsidy has been a recurrent decimal in this country. Maybe this time the government's management team has added an amount of money to be attached to it so that to alleviate the pain that will be faced by the majority of those who are targeted. But my contention is a little bit statistic. Who are the poor people? What is the list of poor people? Who are the ones who are going to be paid? How will you justify that the 5,000 Naira will reach them? Are they poor who are working in government establishment, the private sector, or they are in self-help projects on their own? They are having small enterprises. Who exactly is going to be a beneficiary in this money? How much money is it? Who are the people? What is their list? So basically, believing that the removal of fuel subsidy is going to affect a broad spectrum of people and telling us that you are singling out the poor. We have not defined them. Who are they? And where do they go to that they are given 5,000? And what will 5,000 Naira do in terms of transportation logistics? If fuel subsidy is removed, it means that transportation is going to go sporadic. It will become a very sporadic issue. And that is the same 5,000 that you are going to now pay to those men and women who own transport companies. How are you going to compensate it? Because as the fuel subsidy is removed, the cost of transportation is going to skyrocket.
Yes.
It's a very complex issue, and government should form the habit of sufficiently educating the population for us to be able to understand. I don't understand what government intends to achieve. The government intends to alleviate the pains derived from fuel subsidy removal by introducing the subsidy of 5,000. It doesn't make economic sense because we don't know who this money is going to be given to, how much it is, the beneficiaries, what criteria will justify people to be eligible for that money.
The rationale from the perspective or angle of the government is to use the profit, the difference, in helping, applying it to the welfare of the masses. That's the rationale. But that rationale may not be justified by what we know of previous fuel subsidy removals. Experience tells me that it is not a good decision. Our experience about previous removals historically have not shown that it's a good decision.
Oh my God, I pray that God will touch their heart, that they will not do this. Even the one that they are settling 165, we are suffering for it. We are finding things difficult. Things are very costly. Things are very hard. And they are talking of this. I pray that God will touch them so they will not destroy the life of Nigerians. I pray that God will just intervene. That is my own saying. That God will intervene so that they will not do this. Because if they do this, they will destroy the life of people. Because there is no job. Nothing is going on. Even look at the private people paying just peanuts. They are always struggling to survive. And they are saying this. I don't know what will be the fate of Nigeria. I pray that this will not happen.
Believe me, on a bird view, that means taking it very lightly, is going to increase inflation, because the inflationary rate in Nigeria is so superb, it's so interesting, that when you increase the price of fuel, or you remove the subsidy, by implication, you will increase the price of fuel. You will liberalize the price of fuel. You will remove control over the price of fuel. When you do that, the price of fuel is going to skyrocket. The first sector to be affected will be transportation. And when transportation is affected, movement of people and goods and services are affected. And when they are affected, the next reaction is an increment. The effect is going to be a tremendous increment on the cost of all of this facility. The end result is going to be a disaster.
I don't think it's a good decision, because if the fuel is increased now, it will affect every aspect in Nigeria. Things will be very, very difficult. You now find out that the 5,000 naira they give have nothing to do. So I think we are looking at it like during the time our president, our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, I can say that the price was a little bit fine. When you go to the market now, you cannot use 100 naira to buy something tangible. So now increasing the fuel, it will affect every aspect. So I don't think it's a good development if you talk about that. So I think let them keep it as it is. Even we are looking ahead of reducing it to the barest minimum, so that all the other things can reduce the prices. And it's one way or the other depreciating our currency. Our money doesn't have value again. You can't, if somebody goes to the market with 3,000 naira, he can't use it to buy anything. So all these things, if you talk about it, they say, can't you see that the high price of fuel? So all those things is affecting every aspect.
It's very, very unfortunate that today we are in a reign of a government of economic sabotage. We are into a reign of a government of economic disaster and economic devastation. Unfortunately, we are in a reign of executive impunity and parliamentary rascality and judiciary mediocrity. And I must speak categorically that we cannot have anything good from this government. When you talk about fuel subsidy, you are giving 5,000 naira to the poor Nigerian. It is a scam. Because as you can see that none of the refinery in this country is working, and you want to map out 5,000 naira to 40 million Nigerians. You want to give them for what purpose? This is a pure scam. It is unacceptable by Nigerians. It's unacceptable by Igbo youth. I think the Nigerian government today, they are not sincere to the people. If they are sincere, we know. But this is a planned and a deliberate avenue in order to siphon our economy. So it doesn't hold water. Nothing like a subsidy. It is a pure scam. This is how they want to loot our collective resources. So for Nigerians, it is unacceptable. That is what we are saying.
We are not yet armed with a clear template of who are going to receive the money. It is not yet clear how they are going to, the details of how they are going to channel the money. So government should come up with clear-cut plan, convincing plan of what they are going to do. So this plan should have come alongside the announcement for the removal, so that one can judge them properly. It's not likely that government will regulate the market prices. Government is not doing the production. They are not into the supply. So how do you regulate what you don't control, what you don't know how it is generated? So that area is not possible Government has come up with many market regulations in the past, but they failed because they are not into the supply of those goods and services. Neither are they into production. Neither do they control the value chain or the supply chain of all these products.
How can you live in a country that when you wake up in the morning and buy a product of a 100 naira in the morning, in the afternoon it will be 150 naira. You go back to the next market to the next day, they will tell you it's 200 naira. If you waste time to another 1 week, they will tell you it's 250 naira. How can a country grow in this type of rapid increment of not even months but hourly? It is unacceptable. It is unbearable. I must tell you that Nigerians have never had it like this before since the history of this country. This is the worst that we have ever had. Like I said, we are living in the reign of economic sabotage, economic devastation, economic disaster, because we have an executive that don't want to do anything. We have executive and parliamentary that are so that they don't know what the policy they can bring in to better our economy, because we don't have our first brain in the judiciary, we don't have our best brain in the executive, we don't have our best brain in the parliamentary. So they are there as business as usual. They are not contributing anything to change or transform the economy of this country. Nigeria is dying every day. Today, Nigeria is like a ship hit by tornado. Nigeria is sinking politically, economically, and otherwise.
Welcome back, viewers. Now the government has talked to only one side of narrative, which is removal of subsidies, while neglecting to explore other narratives, which is how to develop the country's refining capacities to optimize local production, to satisfy local and export demand, and raise the much-needed revenue it's so craved for. With the current position of Nigerian economy, the masses find it difficult to put food on their table owing to the constant increase of prices of commodities. Now, considering the total removal of fuel subsidy, what will be the hope of Nigerians? We can only hope that the government comes with a workable compromise about the transparency of fuel subsidy removal. Let's have your views in our comment section. Like our post, share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is Olama Vivian Chinana. I'll see you again next week.